Hey everyone, I'm Sean Fargo, founder of Mindfulness Exercises. Hope you're doing well. Just hanging out with my little puppy dog right now. Trying to console her a little bit. She got bit by another dog a few days ago and was at the vet all day yesterday and all night. Just a little bite behind the ear, but she'll be okay. Kind of spoiling her right now with lots of extra yummy food today. But I hope you're doing well. I have an exciting announcement that I'd like to share with you. For the past year or so, I've been putting together a podcast. A lot of people have been asking for a podcast. They like hearing our teachings and our meditations and our interviews, and wanted a podcast so they can have something accessible in their car, while they're walking, that type of thing. So we made a podcast, and I'm really proud of it. Our team put together something really unique and dynamic. Each podcast episode is like a guided, curated journey where it's really experiential based. It's not just a bunch of teachings thrown at you or just guided meditations or anything like that. It's sort of a journey where we learn some insights, maybe some neuroscience, the latest research on habits, or we hear from the world's top mindfulness teachers on how they teach mindfulness and how they help certain kinds of people. So we hear some really interesting insights about practicing mindfulness or teaching mindfulness. And we have these built in moments of reflection, questions, some guided meditation practice a little bit to help us to apply what we've learned and what we've heard to our own lives. When I started this company, it's like, well, what do I name it? And I named it Mindfulness Exercises because it's not just mindfulness talking or theory or teachings. It's like exercising mindfulness. Like, how do we apply it to our own life? How do we strengthen our own mindfulness? That's really what I wanted to get at. And this podcast is very emblematic of that. We're exercising our own mindfulness, applying what we're learning in each podcast to our own lives so that it will provide the biggest change for us. And one of the very first episodes that we launched just a couple days ago is with my friend Kevin Griffin, who is a pioneer and leader in the mindful recovery movement. He has a lot of best-selling books on mindful recovery and how mindfulness helps us to unravel our addictions. And just a wonderful teacher. And so we sat down for an interview on, how teaching mindfulness and meditation can seem quite scary. And we tackled the questions on, how do you know when you're ready to teach mindfulness? What skills and qualities does a mindfulness teacher need? Whether teaching mindfulness is part of your career or just a personal passion or just a happy accident. What qualities do you need to share mindfulness with others? And he's been teaching for decades and has a lot of really unique wisdom and insight on this. But we explore, what does sharing mindfulness with others mean to you? What inspires us to teach? What experience and qualifications do you need to begin? Who are you best suited to teach? Because, not every student or client is the same. And then we talk about what we can teach, which practices are relevant for certain demographics, how to define mindfulness, how to guide meditations for certain kinds of people. We talk about what makes teaching mindfulness unique in that it's not knowledge-based, it's about the actual practice of sensing into our experience moment to moment without judgment. So it's not just about an information transfer, it's about inviting people to have that courage, that sincerity, that interest, that inspiration to actually see for themselves what mindfulness means to them in each moment. We talk about exploring our motivations, where hopefully our primary goal is to serve people. It's born out of compassion, rather than getting rich quick or being seen as a guru. It's really about service, and so we talk about that. And that the power of our own practice helps really fuel our ability to be able to hold space for difficult experiences that other people have when we're guiding them. We talk about our capacity to hear people's pain and suffering, holding space for differences between people and between us and others as well, and that we have a responsibility to educate ourselves around our differences in society. And in my opinion, especially around racism, sexuality, gender identification, honoring our ancestors and the people who lived on the land before we did. We talk about how what we teach depends on who we're teaching. We also talk about how teaching mindfulness is not really about fixing anybody or telling them how they should or should not be, but we're giving them these tools or offering them these practices so they can be with what's happening. It's not about controlling minds or anything like that, but it's just an invitation for people to see for themselves what their experience is like. We also talk about the business of teaching mindfulness as well, and that whether we're a consultant or a coach or a therapist or a yoga teacher, we want to be teaching with integrity. And so we talk a little bit about, marketing and teaching with integrity and, really leading with generosity and compassion. So anyway, I think you'll be pleasantly maybe surprised that this podcast is unlike any other. It's not just one person talking and giving a bunch of information. It's really a journey. So really excited and honored to have Kevin Griffin be a part of this. I think you're going to really like his style, his vibe, and his insights to a lot of these common questions that people have around sharing mindfulness with others. So check it out. The podcast is on our website. It's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Audible, etc. So we'll post the links down below, and hopefully you like it. Please let me know what you would like us to share in the podcast. Please write down any suggestions or feedback or questions you may have down in the comments section. Hope to be on this podcast journey with you for years to come. For anyone who'd like to be on our podcast, please let us know in the comment section. We do read those and respond as well. So we have a podcast. Yay! All right. I hope you're doing well. And I'll see you again next time. Bye.